Before we begin, we want to acknowledge that this video may be difficult to hear. If you are a stalking victim, some of the information we share may feel overwhelming, frustrating, or even hopeless at times. But please know, our goal is not to discourage you. Our goal is to prepare you. We are here to offer answers. We are here to show you a path forward. But the truth is, that path begins and ends with you. You will need to advocate for yourself in ways you never thought possible. You will need to document, strategize, and push for your own safety. We can help guide you, but you are the one who must take action. If at any point this video feels like too much, please pause. Take a deep breath. Take care of yourself first. We understand that as a victim of stalking, you may have found this video in an already traumatized state. We have been there too. We have included mental health resources, healing frequency meditations, and our videos on coping strategies in the description below. We also want to be clear. While this video highlights the failures of law enforcement in stalking cases, this does not mean you should hesitate to call the police if you are in immediate danger. Every jurisdiction is different. And while the system is deeply flawed, there are still officers, attorneys, and advocates who truly want to help. Our advice is based on experiences working within a legal system that, while imperfect, did make efforts to protect victims. Your experience may differ based on where you live. This information is not meant to take away your hope. It is meant to arm you with the knowledge, tools, and strategies you need to protect yourself. Because you are not powerless, and you are not alone. The law enforcement myth, and how to keep your own records as a victim. How many times have you heard the advice? Call the police and file a report. When reporting a crime, it sounds like good advice. It sounds like it means something. If you're a victim, or even someone giving advice, that phrase is comforting. Like it's a shield, a security measure. At least I'll be on their radar, you think. They'll know what's happening to me. But that's not the truth. And law enforcement isn't going to tell you that, although your calls may be documented. It is your responsibility to collect those records. The idea that someone is keeping an eye on your case, that police have some big file with all of your reports neatly compiled, waiting for the moment your stalker crosses the line, is a myth. Unless you are dead or gravely injured, your case will stay buried. No one is tracking patterns. No one is watching out for you. So why does this happen? First, police departments are overwhelmed. They don't have time to monitor long-term cases that don't have a clear and immediate danger. Second, contrary to what crime shows make you think, accessing records isn't easy. It's not as simple as typing a name into a search bar. Even police have to go through processes to pull records, and many just won't unless they absolutely have to. Most stalking behavior doesn't immediately qualify as a felony or even a misdemeanor, which means it gets ignored. Or worse, it gets misinterpreted as paranoia. The sad truth is, a lot of officers don't understand stalking. They aren't trained to spot it. So when you report something that seems obvious to you, the patterns, the behaviors, they don't see it. Instead, they might dismiss you as overreacting. And it's not just law enforcement. You might notice your friends and family doing the same thing. Even when your stalker is a total stranger, people will still look for ways to blame you. And even though it hurts, it's not really their fault. They can't easily understand the motives of your perpetrator. So, unfortunately, it seems natural for people to assume there is more to a story. But when law enforcement does it, it can result in dangerous situations for victims. So what do? You become your own investigator. You do the work for them. Because when law enforcement finally does pay attention, you need to make sure your case is so clear, so undeniable, that they have no choice but to act. Start by keeping a personal stalking file. This is not something you get around to later. Do it now. Since stalking is often subtle, there will likely be many small things. So many small things, in fact, that you will forget some over time. It is your responsibility to collect those small things. Document everything as soon as it happens. Every text, every email, every call, every sighting. Screenshot it, record it, save it in a dedicated folder. These days, the law requires real evidence, footage, recordings, receipts. With so much technology everywhere, this is not too big of an ask. Get names, get dates, get receipts. You need to be able to track every single interaction. Research and organize your evidence like your life depends on it, because in some cases, it does. Keep a digital log in Google Drive or OneNote. Use time-stamped recordings to document harassment. Make a timeline of events. Make backups. Always have a secure copy elsewhere in case your devices are compromised. Every time you go into any office, bring your stalking file. Reference prior reports. Get a case number. You must make sure your history doesn't disappear. Our channel has helpful videos on filing police reports strategically. We recommend watching our video on the importance of magistrates and what is required to press charges to get a better understanding on when you should engage the justice system. Lastly, you must take on the exhausting work of uncovering your stalker's history, tracking down their past, pulling court records, and obtaining official documentation isn't just time-consuming. It's something no one else will do for you. Your case will not get a detective. Your prosecutor is your lawyer, and they will not go digging. And it's not because they don't care. It's because they don't have the time or resources. Unless you're dead, no one is going to piece together your stalker's history for you. That responsibility falls on you. And if you're being stalked, there is a very real chance your stalker has a history of intimidation, harassment, or even violence. The proof may already exist. It's just buried under a system that won't look for it unless you put it right in front of them. This is why one of the first things you must do upon realizing you are being stalked is to become your own investigator. Because in the eyes of the legal system, unless you force the evidence into the light, it will never be seen at all. Even if past charges can't be used in court, having that information can change how your case is viewed by the district attorney, law enforcement, and even the judge. This is the truth no one tells stalking victims. Your case will only matter when you make it impossible to ignore. You have to make your case so clear, so compelling, so airtight that they have no choice but to take it seriously. The good news? You have the power to do that. The more organized you are, the harder it is for them to dismiss you. If you keep track, if you document, if you build your case, when the time comes to act, you'll be ready. No one is watching your case, so you have to. But you don't have to do it alone. This channel exists to give you the tools, the knowledge, and the strategies to fight back and reclaim your life. If this video helped you, subscribe. Check out the rest of our Stalking Survivor Handbook for step-by-step guidance on how to protect yourself and push your case forward. Because you deserve more than survival. You deserve justice.